about how to make a fantastic belly dance entrance, how to enter with pizzazz. So the entrance is probably the most important part of the performance because this is where the audience gets their first look at you, and it really sets the tone for the entire performance. So if we do not really grab their attention and get them interested right from the start, it's going to be a lot harder to keep them interested in the rest of the show. But if we can really pull them in, then it will make our job much easier and they will come away feeling like they had a wonderful experience. So the entrance is super important, which is why I wanted to make a video on how to achieve a successful belly dance entrance. So let's start by thinking about the goals of an entrance. What do we want to accomplish? The first thing in an entrance that we need to accomplish is getting the audience's attention. Now, of course, some of this is achieved by our costume, our makeup, our props, all of this, but another really important facet of getting the audience's attention is our energy. So we need to bring a really powerful energy to the dance floor, to the stage, to wherever it is we're performing. So that's number one. And related to that is the mood, right? So we want to have a very strong energy, but the mood will be dependent, of course, on your music and on your personality, on your artistic choices, on a lot of different factors. So you might have like a very sultry, mysterious, dramatic mood, especially if you're dancing with a prop like a shamadan or a sword or something with fire. That might be the mood you want to bring. But what I'm mainly going to focus on for the rest of this video is a more upbeat, happy mood that we would generally have at the start of a Méjancé song, which is a typical belly dance entrance song. So this is probably the most common entrance, that's why I'm going to focus on it. And usually you'll hear it in the music. We have almost always either a malfouf or a maksum, and a faster maksum rhythm. So it's a bit fast, it's very upbeat, so we want to bring that high energy to the performance. So that's the second point. And then again, specific to that Méjancé entrance, but also applying to some other types of entrance, we want to include a lot of movement. So you want to almost like mark your territory, like show the audience, this is where I'm going to be dancing, right? You don't usually want to just come on stage and just like stand there and suddenly do a bunch of moves. We want to give the audience time to get accustomed to us because, right, we're wearing some crazy costume. This is something very out of the ordinary. They need some time to adjust. So we're not going to do like super complicated movements at the beginning, but what we are going to do is we're going to have a lot of movement. If it's a stage, I usually like to circle around the stage once, even twice, or even 3 times, or make like figure eights. Just do something with a lot of movement, showing them where you're going to be dancing. And then it's built into a Méjancé, actually into the music, is that after that entrance point, there will come a section that is a bit slower, usually a baladi, a slower maksum, masmoudi, something like that. And that's where then you would stop all that crazy moving around and be in one place and then show them, okay, now I'm going to show you what I can do. So, energy, mood, movement, those are some key ideas to get you started. And you can also, of course, use a veil. I'm actually going to show you some movements that work with the veil. That also goes really well for a Méjancé. So let's get down into the specifics of what movements we can use to achieve these goals. So the first way we can enter the stage, the simplest one is just walking. But of course, we don't want to just walk, normally, like we're just going for a walk outside. We want to have our dance posture. You might want to be on releve. Actually, I recommend being on releve. You can go faster as well. And you would just walk on, maybe your arms are out to the side, and make some sort of a figure. So here, like I made an 8, you could do a circle, and again, also another important thing is gaze, right? So you want to make some eye contact with your audience at this entrance, right? Because we're trying to build a connection with them. Okay, so walking is something great that you can do. Again, a dance walk. Another fantastic way to enter the stage is the chassé, which I use in almost every entrance. It's super versatile. You can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can make it big, you can make it small, you can go in any direction. So chassés are wonderful. They work well with malfouf rhythms, they work well with maxum rhythms. So again, you can enter the stage from wherever you want and just do your chassé. Also works well with a veil. So I'm not going to get into the technique of these videos, but I will link the technique breakdowns of these steps in the description. So walking, chassés. Another great entrance move is the chaîné turn. So turns are also a really good way to build excitement, to have that movement. Again, they work great with veils. You can do fun things with your arms. So you might add 1, 2, 3, however many turns you want, right? So you might do, say, 2 chassés and 2 turns. So you might do something 1, 2, turn, turn. Yeah, for example. And the final movement or type of movement that I like to include in entrances is some kind of an accent movement. So what I mean by this is a bit of a pause in a pose. So like an arabesque. That's a great movement to throw in with your turns, with your chassés, something where the music calls for it, just a nice arabesque. Of course, you can do different arms, you could turn all the way around. So there's a lot of things like that you can do. Or another pose or pause that I like to do is this passé, releve with passé. That's a really nice one. And it also works great with veil. Any sort of things like that. Also kicking if you want, depending on your costume, or like a fan kick. So something like that, or a sort of a jeté. Anything that lets you pause and enjoy some sort of flourish in the music is great to have in your entrance. So, again, for mes chassés entrances, I like walking, chassés, turns, and pose type movements like arabesque. Of course, there are many, many other things you could do in an entrance, but with those kind of building blocks, you can already dance to almost any mes chassés opening. So let's just try this out. We're going to do a little sequence of steps just to practice with entrances. So we're going to do it to a malfouf rhythm, but this would also work for maxum rhythm. So let's start, and let's start with 4 of those dance steps. So we're going to enter the stage, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can start with whichever foot you want. I'm starting with the right one. So again, you probably will be entering from this side, but for now, do wherever you want. We're just going to step on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll do 2 turns, 2 chaîné turns. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 4 walks, 2 turns. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. From there, we're going to do 2 chassés. So again, we're circling around. So after these turns, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to continue around to the back with my chassés. 2 chassés. 1, 2. Okay, so now I'm at the back of my space. I've made a circle, or most of a circle around. 4 walks, 2 turns, 2 chassés. I'm going to do one more turn to the front. 1, 2, and then I'm going to do an arabesque. 3, 4, because we hold it. So we circled around to the right, or to the first side, we went to the back, came to the front, and now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to start with the other foot. So in my case, I would start now with the left. So again, 4 walks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 chassés. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn and arabesque. So all on the other foot. Okay, so again, 4 walks, 2 turns, 2 chassés, another turn, arabesque, and then switch feet. So let's try that all with some music. Welcome back. So now we are going to do that same sequence, but as you can see, I have my veil. So we are going to add some veil to those feet. So veil is a really great prop to add to your entrances, especially for méjancés. It just brings a lot of movement and color and fun to the dancing. It's a great way, again, to really get the audience's attention. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And it's very easy to add on to most of those steps that we've been looking at. So let's see how we can add veil to that sequence. So we're going to start with the veil behind us. Our arms are out, and again, we're just going to walk. You don't need to do anything. The veil will flow out behind you. So we walk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the turns, we're going to circle the veil around to the front. Yeah, so I'm not going to get into the exact technique of the veil movements. I will link the technique videos in the description for this video if you want to go check those out. But for now, we are going to circle that veil around as we're turning. So we're here, we turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we have the veil in front of us. With the veil in front of us, we're going to do our chassés. 1, 2. 2 chassés. Now we're going to turn, bringing the veil down as we turn. 1, 2. So now the veil is down, I bring my hands together. And then on 3, instead of the arabesque, I'm going to step on my right foot. Move the veil so you can see. I'm going to step on my right foot and passer the left foot. So we're going to do 3. And I bring the veil up and overhead. So that movement is the veil. I bring my hands are together. They come up and open out. With the feet, it would be like this. Yeah? So let's do that again to the right, and then we will try it to the left. So walk, 2, 3, 4. You can sway the veil around if you want. That's also fun. Turning. 1, 2. Circling the veil. Chassé, chassé. Turn, bringing the veil down. Passé, and flip the veil back. Let's try that now to the left. So walk, 2, 3, 4. Turn, circling the veil. Turn. And chassé, chassé. Turn, bring the veil down. Passé, relevé. So, go back and review if you need to, and then we're going to do that whole sequence with music. A little mini entrance sequence that incorporated some of those key ideas about entering, getting everyone's attention, setting the mood, keeping the energy up, marking the territory, showing where you're going to be dancing, and just letting the audience know that a fantastic spectacle is about to begin. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please do give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching, and happy practicing.